predominantly a
Yes. Hello.
Here.
hello. Hi.
Yes. Como estás? Can everybody hear me? Everybody hear me out in on the streamland in the chat? Can y'all hear me? Are we good? Can we get a little thumbs up or just something? Y'all let me know if y'all can hear me. If y'all can't, we've had some technical issues over the last few weeks, but we live, we progress, we move on. Yes. Happy Thursday, happy September. Ooh. Feel a little nip in the air? Not down here, not down in the south. It was 90 degrees today. But
oh my God, you said nip. I was about to go crazy. What was the nip?
Yeah. There is no nip in the air down here yet. But you know what? We'll still move on. Welcome everybody in. Thank y'all for showing up tonight. We got a very, very special one. Very, very special one. Hope everybody's doing well because these next people are going to make y'all do well. Make y'all feel well. Make y'all hear well. Make y'all see well. We've got some talent. Big time talent in the building. Massive. We have got close friends of the program, Jay, Woozy, and Cy of Magic Records. And a new friend of the program, noted, is the proper term documentarian? What would you say? Documentarian?
Yeah, documentarian, filmmaker, whatever. It all works. It's all good. Yeah.
Documentarian, filmmaker, YouTuber, and noted coyote Ash. Yes, everybody, welcome Ash to the program. Yes. How is everybody doing? How y'all living out there?
We excited. It's hot, so we kind of drained.
Yeah.
It came from inside. I'm a little tired, but.
Oh man, trash bag again. Finn, good lord, you loving these subs, man. Appreciate that.
Yo, turn up for Finn. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Shout out Finn.
Good God.
X Games.
Yeah. Yes. So before we start off, I would like to show everybody the trailer for Ash's new documentary, Beyond the Fandom. We can go ahead and get into that before we start talking about everything else. Before we do, let's show Ash. Lovely. Oh, look at all this work. Ash has done. 90K subscribers on YouTube. Wonderful. But we have the trailer for Beyond the Fandom. Well, just in case you haven't seen it, we'll show it to you now. Why not?
Betty.
Monitors SD16, 1 and 2.
Magic Records is trying to pioneer a culture of hip-hop, specifically in like the rave and dance spaces. We want to show you what this is.
It's a family. Music, in a way, is a foundation of that.
Everybody in Magic Records is BIPOC or somewhere in like the LGBTQ spectrum.
We gonna do what we gonna do to make it work. I love my group.
It's crazy like how some people will like view you differently because you're also different. Isn't that the point of this fandom? Isn't that the point, to be different?
The demographics and the fandom were like skewed in a way, and not on purpose. I could still go to a convention and still get profiled for being black.
Sometimes you do just need to be in a place where like people genuinely understand you.
If I didn't find the people that I did, I don't even know if I'd be around.
What's it like being a part of a group that understands you?
I would say that it's magic.
Yes. 1 week. We've got a week. If I can get back to my Discord. There we go. Yes, we got a week. I know you laugh. I almost let out the longest groan ever with that last line.
No, you should have. That's the whole point. That's the
Come
whole
on.
point. You definitely should have done
Oh
that.
man. And dog. Oh man. But no.
No, I ain't gonna lie. Like that was really bad. That was really bad. But I think it was on brand for me. So if you can hear Woozy in the background go like boo.
That would have been me too, to be fair.
I'm painfully self-aware, so I would encourage that activity.
But yeah, Ash. So making this project, I know this is just part one of a lot more that you have down the road. But I guess just how did you initially reach out to Magic, and how the behind the scenes of making this part of this documentary go, and how did it spring about?
Sure. So we actually connected through our. Actually, I'm getting a little bit of feedback here. I'm going to see if I can kill that out real fast. Sorry. Yeah. So we connected through. I believe it was my casting call for the fandom. So it was one of those things that I kind of put out there early last year, and I was like, "Hey, COVID's starting to wind down. I'm ready to kind of get back out and start rolling again for the long promised season 2." And we just kind of connected through the casting call. I had been told about Magic Records through a few folks. I believe it was it might have been Nonstop Pup and Solar Dog might have mentioned them to me as well.
Two other friends of the program.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like great people, wonderful folks in the fandom, and it's been one of those like long time coming episodes. It's definitely something that hit on a lot of what we were wanting to cover, which is kind of like fostering community, exploring different avenues in the fandom, looking at things beyond what I would consider to be like the traditional furry spaces, right? Which are, like, hey, furries, we wear fursuits, we dance around and, like do these things. But, like there's so much more to our community. There's so much more depth that we really wanted to find and to show, so folks can kind of better embrace it, better understand it, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, we connected that way. Then I would say it was probably from the point where we got in contact to the point where we started filming. It would have been a few months. It was like about 2 to 3 months, I think, before we actually like met up at Anthro, New England.
Yep.
Just this last year, yeah, and we spent about a week. We spent about a whole week filming together. It was a wild ride, a crazy experience, getting to meet like everyone. And hey, Sai, I see you got your fursuit out.
Yes.
Hey.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I was gonna say, Ash, I'm sure like the process of filming with these folks. I mean, I've had interact with them both through these streams like this as well as in person this past FWA. I'm sure it was a lot of hassle trying to wrangle in these cats. Like I know. Each and every one of them. I literally like, I know, and I was like, man, I wonder how the hell able to actually get to sit down, like act and have everything go off without something happening, without somebody acting a fool, something like that. So like kind of so just that whole process of shooting, like I know it was crazy for you.
Oh my God, it was insane. It was like the wildest experience. I mean, big shout out to Magic. I mean, Magic is great at keeping folks, like organized and on time and stuff. So I mean, like that's Magic was really helpful during the process. But I mean, like it was a crazy experience. I mean, I think our first night in, we were all doing. We kind of like all met up and we went over to Scales and Remy's house.
Yep.
And I believe the night started with tequila shots.
Yep.
And ended with peanut butter vodka.
Yep.
Or peanut butter something. Peanut butter something. It was very
Peanut butter whiskey.
peanut butter whiskey. it was a wild experience.
The New England standard.
Oh my god, yeah. Oh, God, Keto peeking through that little cat door during the interview. I don't know if you none of y'all saw that, of course, but like there was this little cat door. I was filming Jay's interview, and like we were kind of talking back and forth, and then I just hear this like this whisper behind me, and there's this door to the stairwell which goes down to the studio, right? And I just see this face, and it's Keto's face framed perfectly in this little cat door, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, sorry. Sorry about that.
That's on brand. That's on brand.
I will say it's hard to keep a straight face and be serious when motherfuckers doing hella bullshit behind the camera and shit. Like, what the fuck?
We kept getting put on timeout.
Yep.
Oh my god. It was magical. I like it was magical. Like that I'm actually I was gonna say earlier with Sai, when that happened, yeah. Like the entire room groaned and it was amazing. I couldn't
I cannot condone that, Sai. I can't condone that. I can't I'll be right there with Woozy booing you.
Listen, I get it. I completely understand that. It wasn't for you. It was more so for me. It was more for me. I can't lie.
I get it. Do your thing, but I can't condone it. Isn't there somebody you forgot to ask approval?
I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna hop out.
Yeah, no, like so Ash kind of like this new series of documentaries, this new series of videos is a bit of a spin-off of your original fandom documentary that you released. That was what, 2020? I remember that during the pandemic, like during the height of the pandemic, right?
Yeah. It basically was released 4th of July, if I remember correctly. It was released when Anthrocon was supposed to be going on because we'd initially pre-pandemic planned on doing like a proper release, like at a convention or something, and we were just like, well, I guess everybody's gone digital right now and we don't know what's going on, so let's try and help out the community and put something out there while we can. And I mean, also, let's be honest, like the community fundamentally has changed since that point too, and in a lot of ways good, right? I think that this is like we're heading in a better direction now, but like it was definitely like capturing a point in time too, so it just felt like the right thing to do to release it when we did during 2020. Yeah, but it's a spinoff, so it's a spinoff essentially covering a lot of the things we weren't able to condense down into a feature film. A lot of the nuances and like finer points in our community that make this community so magical, right? Like so special.
Yeah, and actually, I'm glad you touched on it a little bit. I was gonna ask, like, from this first documentary that you put out a few years ago to now. Even though it like you think about like 3 years, like not a long time, but like the aspect of how much the community has changed. How do you feel as though and this upcoming one is very emblematic of it? How do you feel as though the community and the fandom itself has changed and progressed over the last few years, and how do you feel as though that's reflected within each of these documentaries?
Oh, that's actually a very interesting question. I mean, the community's changed a lot. Like I think the pandemic exposed a lot of cracks that were existent in the fandom for a very long time, but kind of added stress to that to the point where, it kind of broke, right? Like people have had enough. People, were getting tired of being othered or pushed to one side. I mean, like
I was just agreeing with you.
Yeah, I mean, like as like a trans person, for example, you know, like I saw a lot of a lot of folks speaking out, and you know, like when our venues for quote unquote escape, right? You know, like a lot of people tend to, whether you know, like you like it or not, they tend to kind of use the fandom as an escape.
Yeah.
When a lot of those disappeared, it just kind of like it brought out the best in some and the worst in others, and so like we got to see kind of like this maelstrom of energy form, and you know, like it was a little hard to watch, you know, like from the sidelines, because you know you see a lot of people in pain, right? You know, you don't want people to be hurting.
No.
But I think through that, we saw a lot of people step up. We saw the community really take a stand for what the furry fandom, in my heart of hearts, I believe the furry fandom is, which is, you know, like it should be an inclusive space for everyone, right? We should be able to exist in this community together and, you know, like enjoy and love what we love. And share that with each other without fear of consequence or anything else. Yeah. That's my idealist heart speaking, though. So, yeah, it's a blessing and a curse, you know, like idealism is one of those things that it's like you can dress it up all you want, you know, like you can say, hey, you know, like this is how it should be, but you know, like you also have to do the legwork to make it happen. And that's what some of these episodes really are to me. It's showing people, the people that I see in the community that are helping to make a change. It's putting people forward that can help future generations of furries in our community to come into a place where they feel welcome and know that there's a space where they can exist and, you know, like be themselves. That's kind of the core of it.
And like Finn said in chat, like the pandemic itself, it kind of changed a lot of people's mentality, where it was felt almost like it was an all or nothing that was happening amongst, you know, within not only life but in the fandom as a whole. You know, I remember, you know, kind of back when. Back then, I hadn't been a furry like as long. I'd made mention of this earlier to you, Ash. Like watching some of your videos 4 or 5 years ago, like were kind of like some of my first like exposure in as like fandom, you know, like practices and like this, that, and the other. Like, you know, the general things. Like I was like looking up videos like YouTube, like hey, like how, you know, what's kind of the ropes as it pertains to this thing. And you know, I think about, you know, that. Where I was late 2018, 2019 when I was first starting to enter to where we got now. I mean, hell, my first con that I went to, 2019 FWA, you know, it was fine, but a lot of the there was a lot of the issues that got exacerbated amongst the pandemic and all of this that we talked about with cons and with these furry spaces that I experienced. You know, my very first time, you know, I've maybe mentioned this online before, but, you know, I would just be wearing what I typically wear, you know, just you know, out and about. Like, I'd be wearing my sweatsuit, like I had on a hoodie, joggers, you know, like just doing what I did. I didn't necessarily have a badge at the time, but I had the FWA, you know, lanyard, wristband. I had all that. Like, I was a proper attendee. And just the aspect of, you know, people didn't really see me as a real furry because I did not have, you know, I didn't have the head, I didn't have the full suit at the time, I didn't have, you know, this expensive badge. Like, even with the way that I was dressing, you know, I didn't have on like, I hate to like say what like the typical furry outfit is, but you know, to like a shirt consisting of something nerdy and niche, cargo shorts, you know, like. And then nothing against that, like if you do dress like that.
Shirt. You didn't have the Zelda shirt.
Yeah, exactly. Like nothing against you if you dress like that, like dress how you want to dress. But you know, like that's not me, baby. That's not Gazi. Yeah. So like, you know, just that aspect of, thinking about what that was like at FWA 2019. I mean, Woozy. I met Woozy for the first time down there, and it's a moment that I'll never forget. It was like late. What was it? It was a Saturday night. It was like Saturday early morning where you were down at the basement level of the con space.
D-Band.
Yeah, and like yeah, and like just doing that because what I like to listen to and what we want to hear, that wasn't going on in the main ballrooms. That wasn't going on and the ability to we kind of had to do it yourself. Woozy had to take his setup,
Right.
put it down in the
I kept
corner.
getting the hold. I'm like, y'all gonna listen? People want. Like, there's a demand here, like, and y'all are our community leaders as these cons. So like, let's make something happen. Oh, we not? All right, I'm gonna do it myself.
Yeah, and like just that do it yourself nature, like that. Oh damn! Oh, shit, this is massive. Grizz, hey.
Grizz.
Like just that do it yourself nature. It's a double-edged sword because like one, it was like damn, this is something that needs to be at an official con space. Like there's definitely a market. Like there's definitely people that are interested. And there were a lot of people just kind of hanging around at that area because it was just something that they wanted to hear. And two, the other side of it was like, okay, we do have the impetus within our community to want to do that ourselves. And, and when I found out about Magic Records, like I thought back to that moment. I was like, yeah, this is kind of the evolution of like where this DIY, this we got to do it ourselves because nobody else is going to nature, pops up. And that's just something that I've experienced. Like I haven't even been in this fandom for 5 years, but to see the change and the evolution from FWA 2019, which like that happened, to this past FWA, Magic's got their whole block at on stage. We've got all these different things that 5 years ago felt like dreams. Felt like pure fantasy in a fandom space in which there really shouldn't be many barriers for this creation, but yet seemingly were. And that's kind of something that I've noticed, and I'm glad that you are reflecting that, Ash, within your documentary work.
Oh my God, yes. No, I think one of the craziest things that I've seen over the years, like sometimes folks are slow to change, like especially around leadership.
Yep.
There's always that degree of kind of like I'm gonna call it furry nepotism. It's not really nepotism, but like it's people in certain circles end up in this cycle, and you see the same type of person running the same kind of event over and over again. And it's people who don't necessarily want to change the status quo, but I mean, like on the flip side, you meet folks like all of Magic Records, right? Which are, I wouldn't say, well, actually, maybe I would, like standing in opposition to the way things are, and choosing to push back and say, hey, listen, like there's all sorts of areas in our community that we can be focusing on, right? Like there is so much more than just, like your, I don't know, like your classic EDM sets,
Yep.
right? There's so much more than, just having, like a, God, the same DJs at every single con,
Yep.
spinning the same thing
Yep.
over and over again. I mean, frankly, like for me, as somebody who likes to attend dances, like there's not the variety that I usually seek. So I mean, like I don't know, like it's just one of those. I'm surprised it took as long as it did, but I'm also happy to see that as people's voices were being heard, that the change has started to happen, albeit a little slowly for furries, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. but it's kind of wild. Like you talk about like an entity like Magic, standing in opposition, despite.
Mm-hmm.
Woozy gifted. Oh, he gifted to Rocky. Oh, Rocky's in the chat. Rockwell, how's it going, baby? Like talking about Magic, like being in like quote unquote opposition to the typical norms, and like while like I kind of feel like that's true, but it is kind of sad to think about it in a fandom that is built on this self-expression, that is built on being who you are, like who you truly are. That something like this took this long to actually get a hold.
Oh my God, yes. I mean, like, I think one of my most painful experiences during the production, I think it was during Keto's interview, actually, and we were kind of talking about different experiences, and we got on a conversation about, like how folks end up, being othered, and I was sharing some of my experiences as a trans woman, and like coming out and being rejected by some of my gay friends, which I thought, like, oh my God, like how can this happen?
Yeah.
We were friends, right? And suddenly we're not because I transitioned, and like we kind of went down a difficult conversation about like how racism plays out really in our community, and how folks sadly are targeted or put in a position where these things happen when they really shouldn't.
Yeah.
And like people aren't calling it like they should.
Yep.
It's really frustrating to see. I mean, like, I know so just like for a little bit of like context here, like I've been off social media for a little bit just because like I have some issues around it. It's just it became a toxic space for me.
Especially now. Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, right. But like it's one of those things where it's just like you see so much, and you see so much shit going unchecked, and it gets to a point where it's like I can't look at this without it hurting me.
Yeah.
And I like I'm seeing friends being hurt. I mean, family really being hurt. It's I don't know. I mean, it's become a rough space. But I mean, more to the point though, like where I've really appreciated a lot of like the energy and attitude of Magic Records is their encouragement along the way as we as we've been getting this piece together and working on it, and getting to interact with like Woozy and Jay and Sai.
Yep.
More like while we were working through post, so a little bit of a behind the scenes thing. When we edit our pieces, we like to work with our subjects. The folks we interviewed to kind of holistically produce. It's as much about putting the story out there that we as filmmakers want to put out, as it is also putting out something that we want to make sure accurately represents the subjects and the participants in the piece. That's super important to me. And so working with everyone over the course of this, it's been a process of learning. It's been a lot of trying to also refine some of my own voice in some of those social media spheres, and challenge myself to step up in the areas so that I'm not leaving those things unchecked either.
Yep. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'll say, like, I've seen it reflected in your content itself. Like I'll show, like, the you go back, golly, now of course it's not, but like you go back to what you made, like 3 years ago, like it's so different than, you know, and not to say that like what you did was bad. That's not what I'm saying by any stretch, but like the where you started and kind of where you got this ground 4 years ago, it now feels incredibly different than what it is now. And I feel as though like seeing the reflection of what you do, you know, change and adapt with the times. Like it everybody, like the fandom as a whole, it's kind of a bit of a bellwether. I feel. Well, I guess weather vane is a better way to put it. As like the kind of like the movement of the fandom, and like to see your change in what you put out on YouTube and what you put out in a public space, you know, I feel as though reflects that. How do you feel as though like your content and what you've done has changed the most over this 5-year stretch of time?
Oh, geez. Well, I mean, it's changed a lot, as you pointed out. I think the real answer is I found my voice. I think that so I fell into YouTube because I lost my job as a cinematographer when I transitioned. I had sworn off filmmaking for a few years, and I was just kind of meandering through life, and it was through my husband's encouragement that I picked up the camera again. And so I started YouTube with kind of a, you know, like a happy-go-lucky idealism, I would say.
Yeah.
You know, like, hey, let's make videos about positivity.
Yeah.
You know, even if it's quote unquote toxic positivity, right? You know, like it's just a little extra. You know, like
you gotta put on this overtly happy, overtly positive, and like almost, you know, pump yourself up in a way in order to like present that style of content related to the fandom.
Oh yeah, no, it becomes kind of like a it becomes like a mask, a character, right? You know, that you're putting on, and it gets a little ridiculous at a certain point.
Yep.
And I think for me, it was when I started filming for the quote unquote original season 1, so like the 5-10 minute episodes that I did. That was really my first film project since I had kind of sworn off film. And I realized just how much I loved it.
Yeah.
You know, like what energized me about it. You know, the fact that I could, you know, like tell stories of individuals that interest me, or I believe that, you know, like are compelling for an audience. And it kind of kickstarted this whole process of me falling back into my life as a director, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, like that's really the difference at the end of the day is, you know, like finding your voice, finding the story and the stories that you want to tell. So that led me down the path to make the fandom, and then Hero and Tenacious, which Tenacious isn't really out in the world right now. It's still in film festivals, but that one's exploring a trans anarchist alpaca ranch commune.
Oh.
Yeah, in Colorado. Yeah, it was a crazy experience.
Yeah.
I shared a link with Sai actually.
It's really good. It's insane, to say the least. What do you call it? Real quick, just on topic, but not in the doc. Woozy talks about how the fandom is like a microcosm of like America, you know. So it's like everything in the fandom is what's happening in America as a whole, and so it's very interesting, like that doc that you did, where it's this lens on what it's like to, you know, it's the whole idea of just being not white, straight, or Christian.
Yeah.
You know, like, and what it means to be that in America. Yeah. It's very good shit. I hope the world can see that soon.
But like, I feel like, not to interrupt, but like,
you good?
Just just us announcing the trailer, right? That comment under the Magic Records, right? Where someone, I'm paraphrasing, but someone told us to leave the fandom. We're literally at the cons.
Yeah.
Running events, putting on for our community. And
I've been in this fandom longer than you.
and he has. Trust me, he has.
And they're telling us to leave, but we're just as a part of this as anybody else. White, black, Asian, and this, you know, this space is open for anyone. You know, so like it's just crazy how some people have like this hold on to whatever philosophy or whatever it's supposed to go. No, like this, we all like animals and shit. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, no, like, yeah.
Thanks.
No, and just that general, you know, it's nice to see the wins and trends. Obviously, like there are always gonna be like hangers on, and for better or worse, it's always gonna be there. Unfortunately, like there's always, you know, people that just aren't gonna adapt, and you know that's fine. But you know, if they're not ready now, either they'll be ready in a few years, or they'll be gone.
Or they won't.
Yeah.
We don't gotta get in the space to be ready.
No, exactly.
That part, yeah, that fucking part, that part right there.
Right. It's the fact the change is happening right now.
Literally.
Right.
No, I mean like.
I mean it.
Go ahead, Ash. Go
it's
ahead.
interesting, isn't it? Yeah, it's really interesting to see. I mean, like on the ground level, watching how fast things have been changing has been crazy. Like in a good way, like in a really good way. But like it's so interesting, you know, like you brought up that tweet. So we, you know, like we've kind of been talking over the course of the release, and you know, like it was definitely one of those really toxic individuals, you know, like the uwu furry is my escape, and I only want to talk about animal people, and you know, like no politics in the fandom, that kind of person, because they believe everything is political. Or sorry, not everything is political. They believe that choosing to talk about an issue, a real, you know, like invalid issue, is quote unquote political.
Yeah.
As opposed to, you know, like people stating that, you know, like there's an equity that's present, right?
Yeah.
You know, like, and the irony is never lost on me when I look at a group of individuals that are like, we're furries. We've been othered by everybody. We've been made fun of by everybody on the internet pretty much since, you know, like our inception. And, you know, like you're choosing to make this the hill you die on, you know, like this is what you want to say about our community. You know, like it's not that it's not okay to you know, like want to use this as an escape. It's more that it's just you have to be able to embrace and accept that this is so much more than that for a lot of folks. And just like, I don't know, accept people. I like Woozy, you said it absolutely the best in the documentary. You know, it's just like everybody deserves respect. Period. End of story. That's it.
Right. If you don't like somebody, that's that. But like, mind your business, walk away, go in another room, or just be cordial. Try to be cordial. Like, you ain't got to talk to that person. Like, just respect their boundaries. They can respect yours.
Yeah. And like Ash, you know, you said that it's so wild that in a space like this fandom in which everybody's been othered, that you decide to other within. You know, I kind of thought about that too. Like, they're for better or worse, and I kind of hate to use this term. I use this term endearingly because I am one myself. The fandom as a whole consists of a lot of quote unquote losers. And I say losers not in the sense of like you know, like you're not a good person, but you know, and we all got a little something different about us. You know, nothing wrong with it. I'll wear that with badge.
We're the underdogs.
Yeah, like I'll wear that with a badge of honor. And like, you know, kind of the end of the day, like hurt people, and like you can choose to either, you know, you take that experience and be like, oh, I want to stop that right now so that everything else is good, you know, for myself and people that come behind me down the line. Or you could continue to perpetuate that just to try to get that feeling that the person that did that to you felt. And you know, it's a zero sum game in that sense. Like you can only, you know, do that for so much. You can only, whatever. You can only ride that for so long until you take a look inwardly and be like, oh, you know, I'm not happy. I'm not happy with myself, and like I'm not. You can't be hate, and then you take a look around. You got no community. You really don't have a massive base of community support. You don't have a support net behind you, and you know that's kind of what I feel as though like is this dichotomy happening within the fandom. Like the fandom as a whole is progressing and changing in a way that is beneficial for everybody. So that everybody feels comfortable coming to a furry con. But you know, there's always going to be those hangers on that are just like, you know, this is how I knew it. And I say that with, like you said, as a microcosm of America, there are always going to be these hangers on of just like holding on for dear life to this semblance of power that they think they have, like as a whole.
Old rhetoric and all that.
Yeah, exactly.
The old guard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me ask the stars of the program. The stars of the program. Side J Woozy. Like y'all go individually. How do y'all? Well, first off, like what was the production process and like how to feel like presenting this thing through I guess I'll say like through the means of which Ash provides to y'all. Like how is that process and did you uncover something about yourselves that you didn't even know consciously throughout this conversation, this production process?
I can never be natural on camera.
What'd you say?
Say that again. Say that again.
I can never be natural on camera.
I'm crying.
I gotta be a TV guy. Like,
oh man,
overperform and shit. Like, I'd be so goddamn nervous and stuff.
That's valid. No, yeah. I mean, it's like, you know, you kind of get in front of the camera, and it's like it could be like difficult for like some people, to say the least. But I don't know. It's you are you, Woozy, so that's okay. Like, it's, you know, what you call it. What'd you say, like, when Keto was telling everybody to chill out and shit, and he was all like, well, now everybody got tequila and shit. But, you know, I don't know. I mean, to even be honest, it's like, it was like a really cool process, like, just to see, like, from filming, like, I mean, because this happened, like, we did the filming at A&E back in January.
Yeah.
And even, like, looking back now and looking at everyone and everything that, like, we've done since then and what we plan to do, it's, I don't know. It's like, I feel like the whole overarching kind of message from the doc was definitely about, you know, find your place, find your people, and find like your own community, and like, or find the people that like you resonate with, and like really build up with that.
Build them up, help them grow.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's like it's been, because it's one thing to like say that shit, right? But to actually like say it and then watch it pan out, even just like going up into the dock until like after to this moment right here, it's like it's amazing to like see what can happen like when you actually link up with the people that like you want to work with, and y'all actually work and like, you know, make shit happen. It's kind of astonishing. It's literally I don't know. It's great to see, because like even even like with you guys, I think because we've been in the fandom about the same amount of time.
Yep.
Like from like 2019, I think is like when I came in, and I don't know, this change shit is real. This all this shit can happen. It's like, but it's just about like sticking with the shit, you know. And for me personally, it's like through working with Ash and her team, and you know, being able to dig the heels in, like with Magic Records and everything like that. Like, I don't know. I think the secret recipe to all this shit is it's definitely community. Is what I'm getting at. And at least that's what I saw, because it's like you always like see it and hear about it, but to actually be involved and actually do that shit is it's awesome.
I would say for like me, I think like this piece, you know, working with Ash, for our group, it made us closer, right? Because like, you know, most people don't realize, you know, outside of this being a record label, a collective, whatever you want to call it, like this is my, you know, for us, this is family. This is our real life family. Like we talk to each other every day, but something like just to piggyback of what Sai said, just coming together to, you know, put this out here, working on this, like just hearing each other's stories. Because I'll say we talk all the time, all day long. Literally, just last night, we're all playing games, watching anime till fucking like 5 a.m., not worrying about anything else, but just talking. Like, but just like hearing really during these like sit downs with Ash and hearing each other's stories, like the trials and tribulations, like we've all gone through to get to this point. And then when we met each other, it's really inspirational. Because like we've all worked hard. All of us all right now, we've worked hard for everything. It's just, I'm blessed to be a part of it.
Yeah, that I mean, just and it's kind of the thing that I picked up off of y'all, just like the energy, but it was not faked energy, and I feel as though that's something that is a lot more present in these kind of projects or just general collectives and groups within the fandom, and kind of talking about with Ash, like the general old guard and just the general old way of doing things, like the unnaturalness that it came with, you know, like yeah, it obviously, like, people can be positive, people can look on the bright side of things, people can be energetic and be all this and do all that, but there was a lot of artificiality, I feel, that came with it. But you know, to see a group like this, to see y'all, and to see many other groups and artists and various people amongst the fandom, you know, come out of this and like approach things with an authenticity, you know, being real. And I think that's what people appreciate a lot about what y'all do, Magic, and what you do, Ash. You know, the authenticity of your interaction, the authenticity of what you put out, of all of this and all that. You know, I feel as though that's what people really resonate with. I mean, you know, I try my best to do it, and you know, I'll say, you know, talk with you know, all the people with Magic, you know, whether you're like what you say and like what you do online and like all this and other translates in real life. Like I know you, and, you know, in such a way, and you know, it's kind of thing that I appreciate about a lot of people as a whole, and what I try to do myself. You know, the conversation that I have with you all, with like what I have on these streams and on online or this, that, and the other, you know, I might be wearing this, but like I can take this off, which I won't do right now, but I can take this off. I can take this off, and you know, like I'm still real. Like I'm still like I'm a whole real person under here. That it's the same. I view the fandom as an extension of myself rather than a separate entity. And I think like mentally that's kind of the biggest change that I've felt. More so, less of an escape and more of a, what's the best way to put it? I could say a little bit more catharsis, more so it's transitioned a lot more into a like being the space to be yourself and carving out that space to be yourself and being your authentic self rather than having to fit into these predefined notions of being yourself that had already been set, whether that be, a musician, whether you do EDM or folk. And, that, like, if you're not doing one of those at a con, that's it. If you're a streamer, hell, if you're a streamer, you're either, like, you're playing, the latest video, like the latest furry related video game, or you're just acting like a complete goofball. And that's nothing against people that do that, but they just that sense, Ash, literally your channel, like your what you've done, changing from a a fairly basic. I don't want to use the term basic, but like the sense of the kind of milquetoast generic furry content that everybody can get into. Not saying that that's a bad thing at all, but into more of the defined, real, introspective aspects of the fandom. And I feel as though like that resonates more with people now as a whole.
Yeah. No, and it's like that's the whole thing. It's like, yo, niggas just trying to exist, bro.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, like niggas just want to exist and do their thing, and it's like
we're trying to do the same thing y'all doing.
Exactly.
No, exactly, and it's like it's even going back real quick to like the whole thing of like, oh, like why you guys being political? No, we are not being political. We are existing. We are political because to you, we are not, again, it's like we're not white, straight, or, cis, or any of that stuff.
Yep.
Like it's like we are, to these people that are saying we're being political, it's like, it's political because like we just don't like look like you, and like you feel threatened by that. And frankly, that's not our problem.
Yep.
Like you can go take that somewhere else. We are going to occupy these spaces and just be who we are. And if you got a problem with that, like, hey, sorry, bro. Like, that's on you. That's a you problem. Like,
yeah.
God damn. Sorry, no. Like you hit the nail with that one.
Man. Ash, I'm sorry. I just noticed. Is your logo a coyote and an eagle? Oh, can't hear you.
Oh, I can't hear you.
Yeah. Oh man, damn. I'm complimenting graphic design, and I can't even hear the response. Oh man,
there we go. I think. Oh.
No. It's green. It's green. I can't hear him. It's tragic.
No, same. Oh man.
It's a tragedy. I tried to dip into work. All of a sudden.
Power cycle.
Yeah, this is it.
Yo, these retrogrades been going crazy.
Reconnect. The retrogrades. It's electronic.
Yeah. Mercury is in Gatorade. Yes.
What flavor of Gatorade though?
Melon.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, there we go.
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Sorry, I guess my other mic died.
Damn.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Tragic.
Yeah. So to answer your question, yes, it is a coyote and an eagle. It's the persona of my editor, filmmaking partner, and just like best friend, Ash. So we're both named Ash. So our company is Ashes to Ashes. It's a terrible joke.
No,
great. No, that shit.
It's good. It's really good. That's branding. That's good branding.
They're an eagle. We're both kind of in that like that trans indie space. So yeah.
No, that's great. How did that come about? I know that typically for mass projects like these, you get you find an editor, or you find a few editors to help along with this process. I didn't even know that you both share this personal this personal outlook on life and this personality as a whole. Like how did that partnership come about?
Oh, so I mean, we met. Oh, good God, that would have been like 5 years ago now. I'd say 5 years ish. Um, he was teaching what was that? It was a youth documentary academy out in Colorado Springs, which is where I used to live. And we had somehow connected on Twitter. And I remember they wanted to meet up and have coffee because they wanted to interview me about a trans documentary. And I'd been really public about being trans online at the time, and like had been very visible with my transition. And so that was just kind of like the impetus of the meeting. And we sit down and I was just like, oh, like I've never thought about being a part of a film, like, but I love film. And so I just sat down and talked to them about film. And I come to find out that they liked editing, and like I had a background as a DP, a director of photography. And we just kind of were like, well, maybe someday we'll work together, like let's stay in touch. And we left it at that. And I think I shot the first season of the fandom shortly after that, and I immediately got in contact with them, and I was like, hey, let's try and sit down and like knock this thing out. Like, let's see if we can do this, because I've always wanted to collaborate like this. I've always wanted like a filmmaking partner. And we did. And that was kind of really the beginning of this. We've been working together ever since. They are a integral part of this team, and really absolutely wonderful person. I don't know. I adore working with Ash. They've definitely, I don't know, they made my life better, so that's great. And like I hope I've been able to do the same for them, and on this wild journey that is anything in the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And but like even that, like I did not know that. I didn't know that both of y'all share the same personal journey and this and the other. And like even just thinking about that is just like, wow, the amount of connection and the passion put into these projects. Like something like this is, it might not be something that everybody knows and everybody can like immediately pick up on, but just like, wow, that level of just soul put into it. It is kind of one of the major things that I feel as though has taken place not only amongst what you do, but as the fandom, as a whole. Like I love hearing that. I love hearing that.
Oh yeah, I mean, like it, as all the folks from Magic Records can attest to. Like whenever you're putting together an album or something, like you're telling a story. You're building up a narrative. You're preparing something special, and that takes a lot of time. It takes an absurd amount of time. It's certainly not something that like you can turn around and flip out in like the matter of like like a few hours, right? It's stuff that often takes weeks, months, sometimes even years, depending on the project.
Yep.
I think for this episode, we had at right now, so like as of right now, our final working budget was just shy of about $10,000. That was like travel inclusive, like all the resources and stuff, post production, whole 9 yards. And I think that we've been working, so I usually typically work, like a 40+ hour work week.
Yep.
During these. So like we've been working on this. Oh God, I don't know if one of y'all can chime in, but I think we started post-production, like it was early summer. It had to have been early summer, I think. So we've been.
I would say, well, it was before we headed up.
It was before FWA. Okay, yeah. So like it's been several months of editing. basically on this project. So it's been a crazy process, but yeah.
Oh man, I love to hear that. And you know what? I also love good branding too. Ash to ashes. Ooh, man, oh man. That's hard as hell. I love a good brand. Oh my god, the logo, the name. Oh man. Why didn't I think of that? Even though I didn't know what y'all were doing. Why didn't I think of that?
It's a bad pun. I mean, like
it's
like,
not bad. It's good. It's really good. I don't know why you're downplaying it. It's really good. Like I'm sorry. That's the graphic design nerd for that. I'm a graphic designer. You know, I see stuff like that. I hear it. I just, ooh.
Aww. Ooh, yeah.
Man, oh man. Oh. Ash, do you like being obviously you've done both. You obviously YouTube channel speaks for itself. But do you like to be behind the camera or in front of the camera a bit more? I could sense a little bit of a transition that's happened amongst your content, this and the other. Where do you feel as though like you shine the best?
Oh God, I mean, like I'm a behind the camera type of person. I mean, like a lot of it's always been kind of this funny experience for me where, like I would put myself in front of the camera because it was just like, oh, that's what's available. I'm here, I guess, so I'll talk about it, right? But I suppose the happiest change in all this has really been able to meet individuals that not only exist on, like that, on that same level that I do with, like their beliefs around the community, with their vision of where the community could be going, or what our community should be. It's been being able to get in touch with people like that, work with people like that, and utilize kind of a chorus of voices in our work to share that with the world at large. That is the single most exciting thing in the entire world for me is being able to, like I'm not looking to speak for the fandom, right? Like I don't want to speak for the fandom. I want people to speak for themselves.
Yep.
And I feel like my job is, and like maybe this is my like my calling is to give people that space to do it and that platform to be able to, and that like that the right access at the right time, or the opportunity to really put it forward in a way that could impact meaningful change.
Yep. No, that's great. Just it. Once again, we can all change into that. We can all do this and do that, and we can all be multifaceted too. In a similar vein, I'm gonna pose a question to the Magic folks. Have y'all ever thought about doing a quick reversal? Woozy, y'all ever think about hopping on the track? Jay, think about doing a little behind the scenes work?
Well, like, go, sir.
What, like, so like, ask the question one more time, just so I can make sure I got it right.
You ever think about hopping on the track yourself, laying down some vocals? Yeah, you ever do a little?
Man, it's like it's one of them things where it's like, at least for me personally, it's like Jay and Hanzo are definitely like, I would say like they're like the vocalists of the group and shit like that. Like they're the ones where it's like they are the voices on the tracks a lot.
Yep.
Sometimes I do. It's definitely like a thing where it's like I want to do it more, but like I've been kind of dialing in more on focusing on DJing a little bit more. Like working on making. I've been grinding like these last couple weeks. Like I'm trying to make like a mashup pack like with DJ edits and this, that, or the other.
Yeah.
So like that's kind of like where my focus has been. But like, shit, I would like to try and do some more vocals in the future, 2024 to say the least.
All right.
If anything, I wanna hear Woozy
Yeah.
on a beat.
Come on,
Woozy.
Woozy. Come on.
Yo, come on, a quick 16.
Come on.
You do
Hot 16,
My
Woozy.
brain don't even work like that. I can't even
What
think
you
of
mean?
words.
What you
Man,
mean?
come on.
Woozy said DJ drama. Woozy gonna do the drops on the song.
DJ Drama, but it's DJ Woozy.
I was gonna say, Woozy, I could be your little ad lib. I could be your little producer tag.
I can do ad-libs. I can do ad-libs all day.
No, we need Ghazi on the for the producer tag.
DJ
I would
Woozy.
say what people don't even know, actually, me and Pseudo, we actually can produce a little bit. Like I got collab beats with Magic. I got collab beats with Woozy. Like, no, I won't say we're not definitely not on par with the production.
Yeah,
that's why
There's some talented individuals.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like all of us, we're multifaceted. Like people don't even know. For me, I be doing a lot of visual edits and stuff, like cat music video on the way, editing that myself. But we do a lot of stuff. Woozy clothing brand.
I'm trying to get into the design. Damn, there's a big ass spider right here. Hold on, I gotta put it on mute.
You never know, guys. You might hear something I produced.
All right.
All right. Now let me flip that. Let me flip that on you. When we gonna get you on a beat?
Look. I am good for two things. I am gonna be good for an ad lib / producer tag.
Okay.
I'll put both on there. And a second thing, I want to be like the furry fandom's comedian in the video. You remember like the old rap and R&B videos in which like they'll always have like they'll have the funny dude in there, like always in a funny situation. Like in an ideal world, I'd want to do that. I think that might be my calling. Like just
like Chris Tucker was.
Literally, like being like the Chris Tucker, like in the video, like some wild shit happening. And like we'll take a little break from the song, like everybody like, oh man, what the fuck, like that kind of thing. I think that's my calling.
Nah, I'm with it. I can see that shit. I would. Yeah, you gonna be an MFF, right?
Let's see. So
we gotta get you on the mic. We gotta get you on the ad libs then.
I will say, a little bit ago I was a definite no on MFF. Things have changed. Maybe. Yeah, we are officially in the maybe category for MFF.
The maybe. Oh shit. What would be a solidified yes?
I need more time. That's kind of the big thing. Like just seeing how schedule, like my work schedule and this, that, and the other shakes out. Like, it is a definite maybe. I think Jay's the only one that knows where I work. Don't say it. Don't say it.
Don't say.
Don't say it. Don't say where I work. But yes,
this nigga work for the CIA. Goddamn.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Pretty much. So like I don't mind doing that. I might be an MFF. Might be a little music video shoot. I can do a little comedy spot. I don't mind it. I really want to see y'all put down some tracks. We see we gonna see Woozy all up in the video, all doing the.
Please.
Nah, most definitely. Our equipment travels, so
yeah.
We like people don't even realize we literally this before we had DigiFest. This is a little moment that's in the doc. I won't get too much of detail. Like we was literally recording, making tracks right before Digi. So that's like a normal thing. So.
Yeah. And actually that's a great transition into another thing. Ash. So obviously this first part coming out next Friday, 15th. Let me go ahead and put the link to it in the chat just so everybody knows. But what do you feel as though is it could be a part in the document in the trailer, it could be a part in the documentary show. What do you feel as though was your favorite part of this first part that you got to, whether it was shooting it or editing it or just like what was something that like you felt as though it was like, man, like I really enjoy this, and you feel as though like the people are going to enjoy when it comes out next week?
For me, it's actually kind of funny. I think it all goes back to that first like group conversation that we all have. We were all kind of still feeling each other out. We were trying to, like get acquainted, so to speak. Whenever you bring a camera into the space, it's very intrusive, right?
Yep.
So you kind of have to get used to it, and everybody kind of has to kind of get used to each other. And we were all sitting there, and I think it was when the shots started coming out. I was just like, oh, it's gonna be this kind of shoot.
Yeah.
And I'm like here we are, okay. And it was kind of like, I think, a moment where we all kind of like strip back pretense for a second and just enjoyed the moment. And I mean, I thought it was great. It was a lot of fun, and just kind of like one of my favorite memories. That, or this isn't in the documentary, but right after that, we ordered an Uber to go back to the hotel.
Yeah.
And we ordered an Uber XL, right? So it'd have like the extra space for everybody to get in. It wasn't an Uber XL that showed up.
Oh.
It was like this little tiny CRV. Jay gets up front, and then I forget who all was there. I think it was Keto. It was Keto, Hanzo, and Magic all get in the back, and I'm like, well, where do I sit? And then the Uber driver's like, oh, just lay across the laps of, like Magic, Hanzo, and Keto. And I'm like, oh, okay, like Boston experience, first night here, let's go for it. I've had a couple shots of peanut butter tequila, or whatever that was, peanut butter rum, whiskey, something.
Yeah, the whiskey, yeah.
Yeah, let's just go for it. And this guy drives like it's like he's straight out of Crazy Taxi. Like he's going like 110 down a one way, and like we're catching air on like some of the speed bumps and stuff.
Oh.
Like, what is going on? I mean, like, I'm laid across everybody's laps. I'm like, if the cops pull us over, here we are. Like this is where we're at. And then we get to the hotel, and the guy at the front door opens the doors to the car for us. And like we start piling out like a clown car, and like the look on the dude's face was amazing. I don't know. Like those are my two favorite memories of the whole experience. Like it was just magically, intoxicatingly awesome. Like, yeah.
A furry clown car. That's crazy. That's so crazy. You just laying just across the back seat. Everybody.
That's some real shit.
Yeah.
That's some real shit.
It was. I mean, it's one way to get to know everybody. Like you're just like, oh, don't mind me, laying on your lap. Here we are.
And that's certainly a way to get familiar with everybody in the group, man. Oh my god. Oh damn. Yeah.
Sorry. And pork and beans.
That's crazy. Ah, man. Yeah. You know what? That's a great note to end it on. That's a fantastic note to end it on. Jay, Woozy, Side, y'all. It's Jay. This is your third time. You are now the most appeared on stream person. How's that make you feel?
My championship belt.
We gonna have the belt on the way. We gonna custom belt shit with it, and it's gonna just have my face just on thank y'all for showing up again. But anytime, hit me up, whatever. Y'all always doing your thing. Ash, thank you so much for coming on tonight. This is it's been a long time coming from seeing your videos, just starting out to talking to you now about this grand project and these grand changes that are happening in the family. It's been crazy. It's been great to get to talk to you, get to know you. I appreciate you for coming on.
Hey, I really appreciate it, and thank you so much for everything. Like seriously, I super appreciate it, and I had a great time. So yeah.
Hell yeah! All right.
Appreciate you.
Yes, of course. Y'all take it easy.
Gazi.
Yep.
Take your time.
And you know what? I damn sure will. I damn sure will. All right. See y'all. Peace. Yes, everybody. Great show. Great interview. Golly. Ooh, man, that was a great one. Hey, I really don't have anything else. These things just kind of end. Hey, you want a little outro from me? I can give you a little outro, but this is all it. Once again, thank y'all for coming on. These midweek joints are gonna be kind of the norm going forward. Weekends are gonna be a bit busy for the boy, but a great turnout for Thursday. Start off your weekend right, I hope. That being said, have a great week. Have a great weekend. Do something nice for yourself. Do something nice for a family member. Call up somebody. Tell them you love them. Simple as. It could be biological family or chosen family. Let them know you love them. That's all it takes. Simple phone call, simple text. Do it. It ain't that hard. Yes. Y'all take it easy. Y'all be nice. Y'all be good. Y'all be safe. All right. Y'all take it easy. I will see y'all later. Good night.